You're welcome back from the tea break. Miss Williams, what of these people? They're not here back. These your colleagues? Your colleagues are there? Okay. Please, let's be seated. Directory structure. So right from where we stop, we are still talking about the protocol and overview. These are some of the operations that you may perform using the LDAP protocol. You can start TLS. TLS stands for Transport Layer Security. So they can have a secure connection to the server. Of course, you can use your own clear password connection. It's not necessary that you should use TLS. But for security, it's recommended that we use TLS. We can do bind. Binding in the LDAP means an authentication. Binding makes authentication. Something happened few months ago. I went to do something like this. I taught some people how to set up my LDAP system. And I still have to write a small script and in PHP. Although I do not write in PHP, but I was mandated to come up with a small script just to demonstrate how you can interface with an LDAP. So the developer, after the training, and the developer told me that, okay, he's able to authenticate, but after the authentication, it takes long before before you get a response or the data that is needed get displayed. So he now discovered that he doesn't know that binding there means you've already authenticated. So he specified bind, and later I think he went after doing searching. So that's why it took so long. It was like, oh, LDAP doesn't work. I said, no. Once you bind an LDAP and it gets success, that means you have authenticated. That's what it means under LDAP. Then yeah, you can do search using the same protocol. Search for and or retrieve directory and entries. You can search for anything based on the object class, based on the attribute, based on the RD, and that is relative distinguished name, based on DN. You can compare. That means test if a name entry contains a given attribute. You can imagine whereby you have some entry, just like the one that when we visited a site where he wrote description that John is from accounting department. I can search based on that attribute. And my filter key will be description equals. Imagine you have so many John in an entry. You have many John. John is from accounting. John is from this John is from maybe ICT. You can search based on anything. Then you can add a new entry. Of course, that should be possible. Otherwise, why are we talking about the LDAP? You can delete an entry. You can modify an entry. Then modify, distinguish name, or move or rename an entry. Abandon a request. Let's say, assume the request is taking too long. You can oh, okay. You can abandon the request. Then extended operation, generic operation used to define order and operation. Like I said before, if you have object class, you can use that one as parent and still define your own and borrow some of the attributes of that one and add it to your own. So that instead of when you need to say this object class is INET or person, it has some attribute that you need. This one is person. It has some unique attribute. You can build another object class that will include that one, the person and the organization unit. So that you can make a merge of all the attributes. Whereby we are supposed to have 2, you can have 4. Do we understand? And then unbind, that means to log out. Then you can close the connection. I've said something about this before. Okay, now this is a simple format of an LDF file, and we've seen this several times. If you look at this line very well, you could discover that we have 2 telephone lines. You can have entries like this. You can have multiple, like I can have multiple SN. You can have telephone number. But so far it's defined in the schema that okay, you can have it repeated. Do we understand? You can have it repeated like telephone number, you can have home number, you can have office number, but although it's not specified, yeah. Do we understand? So it's left for whoever is managing the server to find a way to make sure, okay, instead of telephone number, you can come up with something like, you can define your own schema to and say, okay, maybe home number. Do we understand? But this one is basically the standard, using the standard defined attributes. Look at this one now. This one contains how many object class? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means this entry will contain all the must of each object class. Do we understand? So assuming this one has 2, this one has 3, at least I know for person, CN and SN. Do we understand? And then this top, object class top, although many of them, they inherit from this top. Do we understand? Many of them, they actually inherit from this top. But all this person, organizational person, INET person, all their must attributes must be included. Otherwise, you are going to get error. If you want to add an entry that contains something that needs something like this. Now, distinguish names, okay, I've done this. I've explained on the C name for common names, DC for domain component, mail for email address, SN for surname. If you look at it, where does the mail come from? Can you take a guess? Mail. Can you just Google? I like all us to use the internet this time around. Look for object class that has the attribute mail. Search online. Yeah. Somebody said. Search. We have the attribute mail. You understand? So we want to know the object class it belongs to. Yeah. Good. I think it's from person. Yeah. Yeah. What of this one? Can you check can you look up this one too? Okay. Yes. So like I said, it's repeated here. Do you understand? It's also here too. Do you understand? But All the must, it must be included, but it looks like the mail is not a must. For some, it's not a must, but there are some that is a must. Do you understand? Like now, okay, if you look down, okay, we have mail, we have a manager, and if you say manager, where does manager comes from? Yes. Which object class? No, just search. Just search. Even me, I don't know. Good. So it comes from person. Do you understand now? So it's just showing you how you can build your entry. Do you understand? For every entry you build, once you mention object class, all the must attribute must be included. The rest are optional. Do we understand? So with time you get to know them. Like I said, you don't have to cram all these things. You don't have to. As you keep practicing, as you keep writing LDF file, you get to know what you're supposed to write there. Do we understand? Ooh. Let me just now I just move straight to, because of the time constraint. I want us to spend a lot of time in the practical session so that we can set up, you can add, you can delete, perform so many things. And then at the end of the day, we will try and link it, because the ultimate is that you from your Linux system, everybody should be able to connect via the LDAP, not using individual or local machine database. Do we understand? So yeah, these are the operation. Client give each request a positive message ID. Server respond as the same message ID. Message ID can be number, but for programmer, it's left to you. If it's giving you a number as a programmer, like some of the browsers that you're using, they will say it's successful. Truly, it's not telling them that it's successful. It's just an ID that is giving them. So it's the programmer that's interpreting that number as either successful or not successful. Do we understand? It's whoever write the application, like the browser now. Like some people wrote open PHP LDAP admin. Some wrote Apache Directory Studio. So the LDAP will give you back a number, but that number, developer will not interpret it to say, okay, if it gives you 1, maybe 1 means success. If it gives you 0, maybe 0 means not successful. Oh. This is a start transport secure layer. I don't want us to go into this. It can really get complicated around it when it has to do with certificate. Although certificate is not that complex. Like the recent installation that I did, I tried to use Nginx. I don't know whether we had it before. Nginx server, web server, engine, yeah. That's what I tried to use. You know, it does proxy too. So instead of trying to do a secure connection over LDAP, I was like, I have to go through many configuration, and I discovered that, okay, if I do a reverse proxy, which is much very easy, just point to where the certificates are. So now this guy talks to the LDAP on not secure channel, but to everybody via the server is not secured. Do we understand? I don't want to go through deep inside the LDAP and be looking for one file to change one file. Or like, look, let it just work. Once it's working, okay, how do I secure it? This guy will do it for me, Nginx. Using the same certificate for all the server, you just have to do a reverse proxy. That's what I did. Although it's not that difficult, but for a beginner, I think you shouldn't, when it comes to file something, you can get discouraged. When you are setting up file, you can easily get discouraged, because when you are doing a secure connection, your client will need a copy of the certificate before they can make the connection. Do we understand? Do we understand? So that's the reason why I always try to look for alternative. I'm not saying it's that difficult, but to me, I feel like that's more easier for me. And it also exposed me to what this web server can do It does so many things. I've always thought that maybe NGX is just web server. It does so many things, like forwarding a protocol that people will not even know that, okay, this is way to work. And besides, I changed the port. So it doesn't, even though that one interface with it at port 389, but to the outsider, I changed it to 10,000. So if imagine somebody is trying to hack the machine, they will definitely target maybe 389. That's what they expect to find at 389. And then even if somebody has written an application that is, let's say, is automated, once you get it, you believe that anything that's operating at 389 is LDAP. Do you understand? But because I change it, it will find a surprise that, okay, look, this guy doesn't, is not running LDAP. I've explained bind before. We have several bind operations. We have a simple bind. You always see it anytime you are working with LDAP. It will ask you, do you want a simple bind or do you just want SLS? Then most of us on Windows must have seen this one. This is something Cabros before. I don't know. Has anybody seen something like that before? Yes. On Windows system. I've seen it, but I've never really used it. I've seen it before. Then besides, I've also seen that it works with LDAP, but I've never tried it. So let me. Now, when you are searching on LDAP, you have 3 different types of scope. You have base object scope. You have what is it called? I think we have base, we have 1, and we have sub 3. Anytime that I'm searching. Now, when we get to that search level, you will get to understand this one better. Base object here, this one defines where you are starting your search. Do you understand? Where you are starting. You can go directly into anywhere, any of the, like I use the file analogy. You can start from anywhere to start your search. When you do your search using, what is it called? When you search normally on your Windows system, you can go to a file. You can say, okay, start from here. Do you understand? The same way, it works the same way. You can say, okay, if I'm searching for somebody, once you search, if you can't see it at that level, should he stop or should he go further down? Or should he keep going down the tree and eventually until he finds this? Do we understand? So that is scope. Anytime you are doing a search, okay, should he just go to that first level and stop? Should he go to the second level and stop? Or should he go to the last level until it's found? Do we understand? Then filter. Filter is like, for every entry, you can pick a particular attribute. You can pick anything to locate any entry. I can search by object class. I can search by UID. I can search by CN. Okay, I can say, give me all the, I can say, okay, give me UID equals to so something. You understand? Or give me SN equals to John. You understand? If you have many Johns, it will list all of them. Do we understand? So you can self filter. Okay, look, if you, for every entry now, if I say, okay, search for this, for all the entry, it can give you maybe only John or just other attributes that relate to that entry. Do we understand? Because for every Mike.
I'm talking about conflict.
Okay.
As you said, when you search John, it will list you, it will give you the list of all Johns.
Yes, sir.
So it doesn't matter if the Johns are the same or if the names are the same. It doesn't care about conflict.
No, there won't be conflict. Let me finish with this first. Okay. There will never be conflict. You know the reason why?
Why?
You can. We have many join in this place.
Yes.
But there's something that makes you unique.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
And that's the DN.
That's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Okay.
It's the DN that makes everything unique.
Okay.
Mike, please. Sorry.
That means when you place a search,
Okay.
using anything to place a search, it will bring along the unique key as well.
Okay.
Like for instance, now I search for John,
Okay.
it will bring all the Johns, and
Yeah.
then it will bring along the unique key.
Let me explain that.
Okay.
You know, for every entry, you have a DN. That's what makes you unique. Then, after getting you, it will not bring out other attributes that makes that particular entry, like username, if there is, mail, other stuff. But you can stop at, okay, now, give me only the DN. Do you understand? Or you can say, okay, from this DN, give me other attributes. You understand? Even though there are many Johns, but DN is different. Do you understand? Then it will also give you the number of entries. Like I want to know, okay, how many Johns do we have in this particular group? Do you understand? Like now, you can have you can create a group whereby you move. Okay, now here we have teaching, academic and non-academic staff here. You first move everybody to group people. Do you understand? At least you're a staff first. Then you can now create a group. You create a group called teaching, then non-teaching. Do you understand? Then you now link, you do something like, it's called something called object class called, I think, POSIX and group of people. There's a particular object class. That particular object class, it make reference to all the people in a particular component, like another group. Like, okay, all this group, even though everybody is under people first. Now, and I create another group whereby, okay, if you're a member, this one has this attribute member. Do you understand? So it links to people. Exactly. So that one, I can now use that one. Let's say, okay, only see these people, like, I can give that particular DN to maybe a developer. That qualify anybody that can authenticate. That's where LDAP comes in now. Maybe you can see the picture now. So I don't have to be doing, it doesn't have to be doing, if you are not this, programmer doesn't have to do that again. LDAP is handling it. So far you belong to that group, that's what it will be given to the developer. Like now, they have a printing service here. You can link, I can go to any group and say, okay, I can create another group, okay, printing service, whatever. And then link people to it. I can say this one can administer the printer. You understand? I can say this one can print. The default is that, okay, we want, well, that depends on the printer. We want everybody to be able to print wherever they are. So I don't have to go and do a kind of entry, say, look, these are the people that we know. I can pick a line from the LDAP, one of the DN of the group. Once I just insert it into, maybe you have an area where you put in that printer. Once it is there, everybody under that is qualified. You understand? Now, further down, you can also do a filter. What if there are some people that you still don't want them to connect? For every LDAP connection, you always see filter there. You always see something like bind DN. At what level are you binding? And secondly, if that is not enough, you still don't want people in this group to connect, you can now create, you always see filter. You understand? You are the one that will come up with your own filter. Some people can use regular expression. I don't, that term is for, it's not necessarily for developer. I don't know if you understand regular expression. Regular expression is like, if I want to say, okay, I want everybody that start with O. Like my name is Olatunde, and we have people here that our name start, so many people, their name probably start with O. So I want all the people, even though I've done the first grouping, okay, look, all these people are here, yet I still want you to filter based on whoever start with O. Do you understand? So I will now do O, then star. O star means whatever comes after, I don't care. So far it starts with what? O. You understand? You can even do that regular expression when you are doing searching. It's there on window. Although people don't do it. People don't use that kind of filter. It will ask you to say, okay, something, you see something like Ola star. If I say Ola star, that means Ola anything. Do you understand? If I say Ola plus, I think that one is Ola plus that the last character. It's something you just have to read up. You understand? You can use regular expression to find anything. You will understand? So that's the place of filter. You can look at a simple filter here. How to examine each entry in the scope. E.g., I say, okay, object class is equal to person. So further entry contain object class is equal to what? Person, bring it out. However, you can match two together. You can see this side. This one is and. This is logics now. This one is or. Do we understand? So I can say, let's just read this condition together. Can somebody interpret it for me? What will eventually come out? You know, you have to start from inside. When you are doing logics, you start from inside, not from outside. So you say, male is equal to John anything. You understand? John anything. It can be John White, John whatever. That's what we are looking for. John Bull, anything. And then given name is equal to, but look at this one. Either you say or, this one is or. From here to here. That's why you start from inside, not from outside. Mike, can somebody help me? Okay.
Thank you. We haven't a logic operator between given name and male. Why?
No, it depends on what you are looking for. You can have as many, like this one says, look at this one. If you start from the outside, you will never get it. Do you understand? But you start from, like me, I will start from inside there. Like now, okay, male is equals to John anything. If I move to this one, it can be given name is equals to John or.
This is or.
This one here.
Yeah.
This one here. Or male is equals to John anything.
And yeah,
So
I do.
Once you get this one,
Yeah.
then you now go to this one.
And
you see, and now.
And yeah, I do understand.
So
I do understand.
you hand this one and the output of this one.
Yeah.
You understand now?
The way to read it is the operator.
Yes.
And the different element.
Yeah, you start from the inside.
Yeah. Can I have 3 elements and 1 operator?
Sorry, I don't know if we can use this.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
perhaps. I think.
Marker, please.
Marker soxla, ok. Gis nga lecture bi opérateur moo jiitu après élément yi nekk ci lii nag lii ak lii ou lii parce que lii mooy ou après nga soo paree ci loolu élément bi ak lii yëpp beneen kii la après nga kii lii mooy eewu lii ak lii xam su doon bind da ngay bind déedéet waaw ñaar ñi soo ko géré ba pare or nga am élément bi.
Look at this now. Let's just.
Et lii nii.
We have something like this. This is signal for the.
demee kon lii et
Okay.
lii ou lii voilà lii et lii ou lii.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the first one.
Yeah.
And if I use this sign, that means or. You understand?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I will just do an expression here. I will like you to tell me whether it will be true or false. You understand?
Yeah.
So if I say true, false, what do you think this one will be?
True.
True.
True. Yeah.
You know we said
True or false is true.
You know we said or.
Yeah.
Eh?
This is or.
No, it can be true, it can be false.
The result is true. Yeah. Well, or false. Yeah. The result is true.
This one doesn't really have a, it can be true or false. It can
Yeah.
be true, it can be false.
Yeah.
Unlike this one now.
True and false.
Forgive the way I wrote something here. This one will be
Yeah. A commercial. And false. That means false.
false.
Yeah.
You end up with false.
Yeah.
Now, let's go back to that one now. Let's go back to that one. Assuming we are looking for an entry. First one.
True.
No, I said it can be true. I said it can be true, it can be false.
Or.
Yes.
No. It's not either. It's not either. It's or. It's only or. Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is or. No, sorry, I've not actually done the second one. That's why this one can be true or false.
Yeah.
I've not added the second one.
It's just a literal.
It's just a neutral.
It's thinking you are using date.
I know,
No, it's not using true table. It's not using true table. It's just a neutral.
Aribi, by the time you link it with this, you can actually come up with something.
Yes. It's not using true table.
So now we are looking for, let's say, okay, I think it's better. Let's just define an object here now. Do you understand? Let me define an object here. I have dn. dn equals to, let's say, uid equals 1, 2, 4, 6, comma, and then ou equals to people.
Yeah.
Okay. OU equals to people, and then DC equals to CU, comma, DC equals to EDU. Now, the next thing is an object class. Object class. Which one do you think we will define here? Mind you, we have UID.
Yeah. Person or
Init person, or it can be person. You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
Init org person. So which includes now UID equals 1, 2, 4, 6. SN equals, let me just call it cool. CN equals cool day. And then, like you said, you said iNetwork, this one also it has a mail, right? Yeah. Yeah, mail. Mail as an alternative. Does it have password? Can somebody let me look at whether it has user password? Please check. iNetwork person. Does it require user password?
We will check.
Mail, so that would be cool day.
Password, c'est obligatoire quoi.
At yahoo.com. It doesn't have user password. Okay. So that means maybe when we need user password, we may have to include person. You understand? I'm just showing to you how to write it. This is an entry now. It's very, very simple. But before you can use something like this, if you look at the structure, that means this one must first be in place. Do you understand? Even as a matter of fact, when you start installation, it will ask you that question. When we get to the installation aspect, the first one will be that this one and this one. During the installation, it will ask us the question. The henceforth, you will be the one responsible for the creation from here downward. Do we understand? So, people, mail, there's no need for user password. Now, assuming we have this kind of entry, we have so many. We are now looking for, who do we say we are looking for? Okay, before then, look at this thing. I thought somebody will ask me a question. Why is it that we are using UID? You know, there are some you will see CN equals to. Do you understand? There are some it will be CN equals to. Yeah, I'm using UID 124. That is the DN. So it has to be specified here too. But of course, I can also say, if I don't want this DN, I can say SN equals to, do you understand? So far is unique. My DN can start with SN. Do we understand? But you are the one that will decide for your organization to say, okay, whether we're using UID or SN. Because in some you will find out, how come some people are using CN equals to on that group? You understand? Because string data type is a string. You always see CN like like a name and something that look like other name included. So it can be anything so far. It makes this one to be unique. Do we understand? Do we understand?
Yeah.
Okay, now, so let's do a search. Now, can somebody suggest what we should look for? Assuming we have this, we have UID 1, 2, 10, so many. We have up to 10,000. I want to look for all the people. Maybe you can look for a person, or you can look for a group of people, or you can look for anything. So we want to look for. Can somebody just give us something to look for? Yes. No, but it has to fall within the attribute. Or if we say a person, if the object class contains person, it will bring all the entry that contains object class is equals to person. Okay. Yes. Okay, a name. Let's say if you are searching for a name, just no, this time around we are using filter. So just say filter name, and so we say CN equals cool day. That is one. No, this time around there's nothing like or. We didn't use and or. We are not combining the dual attributes. You understand? That's the reason for the filter. Assuming we have too many of these, cool day, we can filter and say, okay, look, give me the SN is equals to this, or maybe mail. We still look for something different. Do we understand? At least you can't have double mails. Double email account, you can say, okay, assuming we want to combine this now, okay, CN is equals to, we are looking for a guy, cool, and then mail is cool day. You understand? So that means we have to do and. So it will be, let me clean this one. It will be mail equals, I can say cool because I don't want to write the entire thing. I'll just put, what do you think I should put? Asterisk. That's regular expression. And then the other one, CN equals cool. Do you understand now? I hope it makes sense. Yes. So that means these two conditions must be met because we are using and. Do you understand? Yes. These two conditions must be met because we are using and. Exactly, yes. Exactly. But if you put or, that means either of the condition is met. So you can do a more complicated one. So you can continue and keep writing so many filters. You understand? Depending on the whatever you are looking for. You're welcome. Engineer Bala. And see then, the reference and aliases. Let me leave this one for now until when we get to the practical session. Then this one, attribute, which attribute to return? We've done that one, kind of attribute we want it to. No, okay, that one is just basically filter, not what it should return. Please, I like you to watch what we just did. The filter is different from, we are filtering based on the attribute return. But now, this one I'm talking about which attribute should lead the return. The filter is to make a match. Do we understand? If it's returning entries to us, do we want this to be included? Do we want only DN and SN? Do we want just SN? Do we understand? For every match. And then size limit. That tells you the number of entry that it should return. Assuming we have 10,000, we have a match for 10,000 entries. We can set the limit. Like, okay, now, for now, even though we have 10,000, there's something called pagination. You can just give me 50 at first. Do we understand? Because it can be so long. Imagine you are doing that in a browser where you have to view 10,000 entries. Oh, search and compare. Let me leave this one. Then update operation. That's the add, delete, modify. That one falls on that day. When we get to the practical session, we'll show you update operation, a new RDN. I think I'll have to come back to all this during the practical because it will not make sense now to be telling you this without even without seeing it. No, everybody knows that I can update, I can delete, but I want to see it. Then don't want to. Okay. So here we go to the installation part. But before we start, let me action. Well, I'll suggest there's an alternative way. Okay. Maybe, hello, okay. Maybe we should do it together. We should use the same server. But when it comes to adding entries, so individual, they will do that one individually. But they will need access to the server. Yes. Yeah, but they will have to log in different times. So that's the Mm, well, okay, well, of course, we can use a single ID. I'm only trying to see how they can interact with the machine. So that they will perform operations like add, delete, create. So I want them to do it on their own. They'll create LDF file. They play with LDAP tools, utilities, and all that. Yes, they will need because of this VirtualBox issue. Besides, there are issues to deal with. But the thing is, that will make it faster because even the VirtualBox, you have to go through a lot. Do the installation now, do the update. Okay. No, that will not create problem. So no, we still have to share the password because from their own system now, they will have to connect an LDAP browser. You understand? So you can download. I'll ask you to download any LDAP browser and see whether you can. Mm. I believe that will give us speed. So Lamina, please, Bola. Well, if you already have it and you want to install, you can also follow along. You understand? If you have it on your system, that would be good. At least when we leave here, you still have it with you, so you can. So now we are going to install and open LDAP. Please note that open LDAP is not LDAP. It's just a server. Do you understand? Eh? LDAP is a protocol. You understand? The open LDAP runs directory service. It's like since they understand the protocol, some people now wrote application. Do you understand? LDAP. And that one is open source. They call it open. There are so many open source like Apache Directory Studio. That one is also an open source. Yes. So the first thing is I hope I have the sudo privilege. I hope we know what sudo means on Linux. Okay. Sudo apt sudo apt install. This thing is blocking. Oh wait, let me do this. Okay. Sudo apt install slap. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. So the name of the package is called Slap. Slapd. That's the name of the package, and this is how you do the installation. I'm not sure whether it's already installed, but one of the way you can check is running this command. If you are not sure, you already have that running on the same machine. I can simply do sudo service. And slap. Lab D. Status. So it's not running. You can see that it's not running. That means we don't have it. So we'll try and do the installation. No, you don't need to SSH now. You don't need to SSH now. Or let me find out from. Okay, from when? Open PuTTY. Okay. Second, sir. Professor. Voilà. Voilà. What's the IP? 165. Let me type it so they can see. One. Okay. Okay, this is it. No, you can use your own to follow. You can. Okay, that's okay. Okay.
Can we use terminal machine for Mac directly, or is more?
No, you can use anything. After this is running now.
Like, yeah, this is a virtual machine.
Yeah, you can use. That's okay.
Yeah, I have to stay in this step, or can I do?
No, you can follow along. Can use your own.
Can I use my own?
Yes, you can use it. Yes.
Like what? Perhaps like or local if I want. Yeah. We'll use an common DC or a common root DC, or we will use different separately DC, different DC. Yeah, for yeah, there are one. But what will we do with with this lab to have a macro vision to what it will do and for what and why we do.
Yeah, it's trying to find out the whole essence of having this one set up and what do we achieve after the installation. You will be able to authenticate. You have to link once the machine is up, you can connect every other node to the LDAP, LDAP server. And then via that one, they will not authenticate via their own local accounts. They'll be using LDAP to authenticate.
Yeah, to authenticate.
Yeah.
But in this case, when we use all of us, when we use virtual machine, we will have network.
No, if you're using virtual machine,
we won't have network to try to testing that.
No, that's what I say. You should bridge. You bridge interface to the local. If somebody can help. No, you can have access to the internet. And yeah, you can have access. Huh? No, not yet. At least they note the IP address for now. No. Just please, one of the two that you find useful when you are working on Linux terminal, you can record whatever you are doing so that you can easily go back. Assuming you missed something. Do we understand? You can type this script. Please don't type if you log into this one. On your own machine, on your own virtual machine, you can type script. Just type script. So the moment you start the session, you start recording everything that you do. Do you understand? So it won't be showing your mouse movement. It's just whatever you type. That's what it will be showing. And if you want to terminate that session, you just press and Control D. Then there's another tool. Like if you are working on terminal, you log in, you are working on something, maybe it's downloading. All of a sudden you are disconnected. You'll be like, how do you resume that session? Do you understand? Because it can happen to you. You can't retrieve that session again. You log in as you keep working, maybe there's loss of internet or loss of power. Maybe you are working on remote machine. So how do you get that session back? Or how do you get that terminal back? So oftentimes, if you are running something like that and you know that it's possible that you lose your internet connection, anything can happen, you can use this command. It's an application called screen. Yeah. Screen. If I type this now, if it's not there, that means I have to install it. Though it doesn't come installed there as default app. If I press screen, although you can give it name. You can look it up on the internet, how to use this screen command. Like you give your own, you give this screen, you give it a name. I'll get screen, then I'll give it a name. So that next time you come back, or probably maybe you have to respond to something. By the time you log into the terminal again, you just type screen and then you state that name. It will give you back exactly the way. Assuming you are doing something that takes maybe hours, 8 hours. You can't stand and be watching, do you understand? So that you can attend to other stuff. So if I press screen, okay, yeah, screen is working here. Screen is working. So this is the screen I'm using. It's likely to be this one. Look at the number. Just because I didn't give it a name, I didn't state a name. So this is the name of that terminal that I'm using. Do you understand? I didn't give it a name. You can look it up how to give it a name. If I go and come back, whatever I'm doing, assuming I have to come back next 3 days, I will still meet my screen. Provided it doesn't shut down. The server does not shut down. You know, and you know, Linux is a multi-user environment. 100 people can be working on it at the same time. You understand? So that's why I'll need to keep my own screen. And no, script is just recording whatever I'm doing presently. Like all the command that I type is recording it for me. And everything that I type is recording it for me. Mm. See. I have to exit my screen. Screen is terminating. I press exit. I've left that screen. But let me see. Assuming you have 5 people, just type exit. Yes. Assuming you have 5 people working on this same server and it's running, and I want to check how many people, how many screens do we have? Your screen. It's just the same way. No, it's common under Linux. If you want to do anything, all of them use the same switches. Like if I want to do list of 5, ls dash the other switches like ls. If I do screen, then list number of screens for me. You know, before we had 1. No, we had 2. Just because I left that one, this is only 1 that we have. If you want to connect to it, just do screen, then dash R. That means I'm reconnecting to this. But it will not allow me because it's still attached. It's still active. I don't know. I don't know. It could be this one. I don't know. But before I can see whatever is going on there, like I have an admin privilege, I have to detach it. Then I will now reconnect. There's a way to detach. There's a command to detach. You will see detached. Once it's detached, then you can connect to it. But if it's attached, that means it's still active. Mike, please. Where's the mic?
And how many screen is there now on the board?
One.
Okay, one.
And because I typed that command, this one lists
Yes.
all the screens for me.
Okay. And that the first number, isn't it supposed to be supposed to mean something? What
No,
does it mean?
The number, this one
Yes.
is randomly generated. That's the name of that screen.
Okay.
Because I didn't specify. I don't know. Okay, I don't know who is running this one.
Okay.
But whoever did not specify the name, he wants to attach to it. So
Okay.
that's how we don't know.
Okay, you can name your
You
screen.
can name your own screen.
So
Yeah.
then you can easily identify.
Yeah. When you come by, you see, okay, you can click screen reconnect to just the name. Type the name.
Okay.
It will give you back your screen.
Okay. Thank you.
So, like, I did something script before, recording whatever I'm doing. So if I need to terminate that script now. Let's see what I've done. But before then, let's see if I have anything here. ls. These are the files based on where I am currently. You understand? This is where I am. These are all the files. So if I do control, screen sharing and stuff. Let me go back. It's supposed to exit from that script if I press Ctrl D. But maybe there's a conflict with this Zoom. There's conflict. I pressed Ctrl D and it took it over. Okay, there's conflict. Okay, put it. Maybe there's conflict. The normal one would not. We just exit that script. It will write. That's when it will now write everything down for me. Whatever I've done. We have to go back. Why did I can save it?
Okay, now save it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now we go straight to the installation. You use sudo. Please know that it's not every time you use sudo. If you are the owner, Although it's safer, it protects you from some mistake. That's why sudo is there. You can easily use root. Just log into the root and get on instead of type every time sudo, sudo, sudo. Do you understand? Sudo apt install. Then please know that one cool thing with this operating system is that you can easily use tab completion. Just because I'm using one hand to hold mic, so I'm not that free. If you type something, you can just press tab. Do you understand? That's why you don't need to cram. Some people will be like, how do I get to be typing all this every now and then? I have to type all this. You can actually do tab completion. If I type something, press tab. It will suggest. It will suggest what is supposed to be there. Sudo apt install slapd. That's the name of the server, slapd. Then along, if you want to install other stuff, instead of having to repeat this command, you can just, after space, type, you can install so many things. You understand? Just type space, then type whatever. All of them will be installed at the same time. slapd and then LDAP. Oh. See, I have to use tab. I try to type something else. You see, look at what it suggests to me. Okay, are you trying to type LDAP utilities, LDAP auth config, LDAP script? You understand? So what I'm trying to install is this one, LDAP utilities. This one. Dash. Oh. Is it? I'm trying to type. It's not there. Okay. Which is then this means the last switch. That means yes to everything. Instead of asking you, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? Just put why. But if you don't put it while it's doing installation, it will be asking you a question. But so far I specify this switch. Just go ahead. Don't ask me question. Yes to all. Whatever you are, yes to all. I know you can install it.
Lab and okay, I did not continue with SL lab utility.
No, you can do them separately.
I can do them separately because what I'm having here is it's bringing on so much processes.
Waiting for cache load. No, something is already running.
It's not even installing.
Yeah. There's a process using that app
Okay.
until when it's done on your system.
Before it can start.
Yes. So I just press enter. Oh. So please enter the password for the admin entry in your LDAP directory. Don't we have a password? You said father, what? I thought you said father. We want to use simple password, but for your own machine, don't use something simple. So what should we use? HPC 1, 2, 3. Is that? No, I'm asking you for admin password. The reason is this. Let's give it a name. According to what we are doing. You understand? If I just say HPC, that's just my way I write my own password. I always include whatever I'm supposed to serve, like LDAP, It will help me to remember. And it's something simple now. HBC 123. Okay. No, we can change. We can easily change the password. HPC 123. HPC 123. Please, when you are doing your installation, I will show you in case you make mistake. Like now, something happened. Assuming you lose this something, because when you go to reinstall again, you might not get this. You might not get this again. Somebody will be like, I thought I'm supposed to see a screen. You might not see the screen again. I don't know the reason why it behaves like that, but there's a way to bring it back. Let me be sure. HPC 123. So confirm password. HPC 123. So it's done. How do we know if our server is working now? You know, I tried this command, sudo service slap status. Let's see whether it's running. Sudo service slap. This is the service. But I want to check the. Yeah. It's running now. It's running now. So let me use this. Call me slap. Cut. Sudo slap. Cut. It's like somebody has already configured. No, look at the name. CN is equals to admin. This is equals to no domain. CNC. He said? No, I didn't do anything. This one? Yeah, sudo slap cat. Slap cat. If you use root to login, you don't need to do sudo. You understand? But just type slap cat. SLAPCAT. See, look at the command you can see. Can you see the command? Yes. Look at this now. Is default? Okay, we have to reconfigure everything. But look at this now. This one is giving me this is an entry. You can see what demarcate an entry is this. Can you see this line here? That space. That's from here to here is an entry. Then the next one. Do you understand? But every time you like now, I don't need this information. That's where the filter comes. It's not every time you need modify times time, modify that just for the administrator. You understand? But for other users that want to integrate with this, they don't need to be seeing all this. It's just this is the password that we created. This base 64. Base 64. I wish I can copy. Can you help me copy this thing? Let me copy this thing and paste it to look for base 64 decoder on browser. Just copy this line. Yes. I just want them to see it. Please notice that before you copy. You can see that all this one they have single. This one has double. Eh? Anytime you see double like this, it's base 64. Because at times you can create your own file and give a password. I don't have to do any encryption. Once I just put it there, you find it's going to be single. You understand? But if it's in base 64, you find double. You understand? But now, you want to decode this now. You can copy it and paste it in any base 64 decoder. It will show you. I think he has seen it. Browser now. Browser. Sorry, before it goes, sorry, let me point out something too. Please, let's pay attention to this. Look at this line too. How many object class? We have two. Can you see? Look at this one. Simple security object. Can you see? So that's what defines this admin. This admin. Description LDAP administrator. Do you understand? So that's what defines this particular object class. If it's not there, it will never be admin. Do you understand? So what actually defines every entry, the attributes that it contains, don't forget, it's always this object class. Do you understand? You can paste it. A64 decoder. Decoder. Yeah. Okay, just you can take this one. Decoder online.
Let me show.
Decoder, paste it.
Let me show.
Okay. Decode it. Scroll down. Decode. You will see it there. Scroll down now. Decode. Okay, wait, it's decoded. See. Can we see it? See. Please, can we see it? SSHA, and then this is it. That's our password. Normally, it shows that this is the encryption format. Do you understand? Some people can make their own SSHA, and there is 2. There's I think a maximum is 5 now. I think there is 5. So assuming you want to generate this one too, this kind of password. Back to the terminal now. Or maybe please let me copy this. So we compare the two. Yeah. Terminal. Okay. Okay. We want to generate the same password. And you have your server and you don't want password to be stored in plain text. Assuming you make a mistake because somebody can easily see your password. If some of us, like most of us, few of us are developers here, normally people, they store an database password, you use an MD5. You store in MD5. Even the administrator, he doesn't even know other people's password. And that is hash. Do you understand? So if you want to generate the same thing, you can store it in MDF5. You can use SS and this SS something that we saw the other time. So let's generate our own now. Let me type, okay, slap see, this slap, the app that we just installed, it comes with so many utilities. We have slap hard, slap password. We have slap so many things. But let me press the tab to show you the things that we have. Okay, see. We have slap access control list, slap hard if I want to hard entry, slap authentication if I want to authenticate. I just use this one, slap cat. You saw that one. Then this is the app. Slap distinguish name, slap password, slap test. This test is to show whether your application is working properly. Then slap schema, and then slap. Let's use slap password. We want to generate the same. No, we use HPC 123, and I told him to copy it, so we compare the two. Slap password. Then, if you don't know, like if I just press this one now, HPC 123, then HPC 123. It's not the same. No, the length is always the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. Maybe it's not our own. It's not our own. It's supposed to be the same. You know, because we said we didn't configure admin no domain. I said there's different. No. Close it. Let me. This is how you generate a password. You understand? If you use this command, it will generate it in SSHA format. You can, but if you want to change the format, you can change it to MD5. You can change it to SSHA5. That's it if the module is already installed. But this one is there by default. SSHA encryption is there. So let's try. Let me do this. Slap password. I think it's I'm trying to remember the switch. The encryption. This SSH. Okay. HPC 123. HPC 123. You know the default is an SSH, but if there's need for you to specify it, this is how you specify it. So let's do MD5. I think MD5. I just saw. Okay. HPC 123. HPC 123. See now. Can we see the encryption? This one is an MD5 that we are using. But look at the length. You know it's shorter. There's another one too for I think crypt. Something like that. I don't know if you've worked with something like crypt, CRYPT. Is another encryption. There are so many. You can just Google. You find them. There are so many. So let's go back now and reconfigure the server. You understand? We are starting afresh. Please, I'd like us to pay attention here. We assume that maybe probably there's a mistake somewhere. Somebody has configured this thing. So we are starting afresh, even though the app is already installed. So the way to bring back that screen is supposed to show us. That's what I'm going to do now. So use sudo dpkg dash. I told you are not supposed to cram. Just press tab. You understand? In case you know that you have the slight idea of this what is supposed to be. So you don't have to cram it. Just press tab. Can you see? Is it this I'm trying to do or this one? Which one is it likely to be? This one. Then the name of the app, Slap Dish. And you see now. Because we made configuration, I didn't think we configure. You know, we are supposed to give it a domain name, which we didn't do. But then when I did Slapcat, I saw admin, no domain name. We don't know how it got there, so we are starting afresh. But you always find this one handy, this particular one. In case you make mistake, you can easily go back. Of course, you can go to the file. There's a file that which you can edit manually, but it's much easier to go this way. It solves so many problems for you. Omit. See. I said no. I said no. The thing is that sometimes you have to listen to this guy. You know, you already chose no for me. Maybe you didn't notice. And I know, but at times when he's recommending things to you, it's better you listen. It's not everything you understand. It always works that way. Then later, maybe you now find a reason why it recommends that. Even if it doesn't make sense. Even if it doesn't make sense, normally you will take yes. No, the reason why I did this is because I've experienced it before. So me too. I like sometimes you just have to look at whatever is recommended before you take yes. We can easily go back, but let's finish this. Then we'll go back again. Whatever we want to scatter, then we'll start all over again. So you said, you know the reason why? He picked the old configuration. That's what it says there. But so what domain name should we give it? hpc.com or hpc.com. Okay. hpc.com. Okay. Mike. You can write hpc.something.something. Whatever. You can write anything you want. It might not be HPC, example dot. You can write. Yeah. Yes, you can exclude the dot. Well, that one will become your first top root DN. Maybe that will be com. As instead of something.com. So you are starting from com. You understand? Mm-hmm. Yes. The root is actually hpc.com, but the real root is com.
Yeah.
The real root is com.
Why we cannot write com?
Com. If I say com,
yeah.
Does it make sense? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's something that it should be descriptive. You should be able to understand what you are doing.
Yeah.
You know, I mentioned something about whenever you are doing something, let it describe what you are trying to do.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's
if I just say come.
No, that's why I tell earlier, if we can write only.
Yeah, you can. You can do it that way.
HPC only.
Yeah, you can write HPC.
Will I review my course? I will understand that this is not this is not by force. I will write something that.
Yeah, you can write. You know, we saw there no domain.
Yeah, SPC.
You know, we didn't see something dot no domain. We only saw no domain.
Yeah.
Which is same thing as com.
Yeah.
So you can put anything. So hpc.com, which translates to DC equals to HPC, DC equals to com. So that's why he's going to do that for you. Do we understand? That's why I prefer going through this one rather than going to edit the file. Do we understand? So it's better to go this way. So what we have now, DC is equals to HPC, DC is equals to, but this you just write it there. So, anything. Okay, sir.
Monitoring that the LDAP server
Okay.
is one of the nodes in a cluster,
Yes, sir.
and normally each node is supposed to have a unique identity.
Yes, sir.
So if you call it hpc.com, it's not going to be too descriptive.
Okay.
Is it not better to, like, maybe if we are using it to manage logins now,
Okay.
maybe login hpc.com,
No,
or
we can.
login.hpc.com?
You know, that
Or
login
something.
can become a subcomponent. You can still define that one.
Okay.
But it's
Okay,
just the
but
root.
okay, you are okay. The node there
Yeah.
at this stage.
This is just the root. You can have so many things after it will be login.hbc.
Okay.
You can be something.hbc.login. So many things.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
So organization name. CApIC. Oh. See. CApIC. CAPI. Administrator's password. HPC123. HPC123. No. I still have to follow the default. There are still files in which will probably break the configuration process. If you enable this option, move all database. It's recommending yes to me. So let's run our slap again. See, what do we have now? Can you see now? Look at this entry now. We have admin dchpc dc.com. This is just admin. We have not created group. Do we understand? You have so many groups. It depends on your setup. It depends on the way you plan it. Like some people will just move people, their end user, into groups right away. But some people will first move everybody to a default group before you become a member of another group. Do we understand? But it's always good to have everybody listed in a particular group that you actually belong to this organization. Before you now, they now say, okay, you now talk about the unit. Do we understand? It's the same. This one is SS from here to somewhere around there. It's SSHA. You know, this one definitely changed. This one. If you see anything, once you see something like this, you know, this is base 64 SS. Once you see this 1, 2, 3, 4. If you just copy this, if I think it's from this area to this area, I don't know. Once you just copy it out and decode it. Yeah. Whoosh. Yeah, for those of us that are running our personal something, I hope you are getting the same thing. You guys in the okay, good. What of are you? Do you have? Are you running? Is it working? Okay. Who else? Is your own? Is it working? What happened? Oh, maybe you can help him. Wow. So let's go to now that we have this structure, we want to create a group now. Although this one doesn't really make sense that we only see the administrator. We don't have group. We don't have other users. Do you understand? So the next is to have a group called, most people, if you find it on the internet or most tutorial, you see people. You understand? We call it organizational unit. So that's the default group. So if somebody is going to write the first one, now we want to create LDR file. Please, I'd like us to pay attention here. This is the first time where we'll be using LDIF file to add entry. There's no way for me to add somebody and say, look at this, the one that I wrote there. It's not possible for me to say, I'm going to add this entry without having all you people first. You understand? Because this one, we don't have this one now. And this guy is supposed to be under here. You understand? So that means this guy must be created first. You can create an LDF file where you define entry for this guy first, then followed by this one, and execute all of them at the same time. But that means the first entry must be OU people. You understand? But you can break it down. First do, okay, OU organization unit people, and then other you can upload. So let's go to, okay, let me just create one. I'm going to use Vim. Like many of you, if you know how to use Nano Editor, you can go ahead and use Nano Editor, but I'm used to Vim. And Vim, then it's better for you to have a file and a subfolder where you put all your files. You understand? So for this particular training, I will create a folder here, and then I will move into that folder. Then all my LDF files will be there. But first of all, I need to know where I am. I think I'm at the home. Present working directory. This is where I am now. So I'm creating a file there. I'm sorry, folder. Okay, dir. My LDIF. ED. So I'm already inside my LDR file. So I need to create file now. You can create a file. I think they've taught us how to create a file under Linux. We've been taught how to create file under Linux. Like a touch. If you do Nano straight away to create the file, then you can write into it. So at your own free time, you can read up about this Vim. It's also editor, but a lot of, okay. Yeah, there's an exercise here. And let me just do this first. I already have some work that people will do. I already have that here. But I just want you to see on an LDF file. Then you can do search. Then later you can go ahead. I'll wipe up all this. You start all over again. Then later I will now move to integration with LDAP browser. As a matter of fact, maybe you can even right now you can download it if you are connected to the internet. Download like Apache Directory Studio. Apache Directory Studio. PHP LDAP admin, that one will take us time. That one will take us serious time because you have to do so many things. You have to install web server too for the PHP LDAP and LDAP admin. So Vim, let me just call it OU.LDIF. Look at my format. Linux doesn't work with the extension. It doesn't care, like Windows. You understand? Linux doesn't care about all this, not informed. Windows could easily associate, once Windows sees something like this, it will associate it with a particular application. But Linux is not like that. It's just for you to know whatever you use to open it. You can use anything to open it. So far, the application understand the encoding. Do we understand? So I might not even say ou.ldf. I might not even put something there. So here we go. For me to write into it, I have to press I. You will notice down here it says insert. That means I can write. If I want to leave that mode, I will press escape. You can see you can't even write. You can only read it now. But if I want to write again, like I said, you press I, so I can write. It's not like a usual notepad where you can just move freely. There's a way you move around. But Nano is kind of faster. But I'm used to Vim. So the first thing is DN. What distinguishes it from the rest? Do we understand? Then if it understands what you are trying to do, you will see the color format will keep changing. That means it knows, oh, this is looking like what it understands itself, LDF. If there's no space, as me, I just continue writing. And let's just say, OU is white. OU people, comma. Then what's the root DN now? DC equals to HPC, comma, DC equals, and come. Okay, I missed the H. So all is equals to people DC HPC.com. Now I'm supposed to create space. There's supposed to be space here. Let's see whether this color will change. Can you see now? That makes it properly formatted. So I would like some contributions from here. What do you think the next thing will be? Good, object class. That's what will define the attribute that you can include. Do we understand? It's because we are adding. Anytime you want to add an entry, you have to define object class. But if you are doing a modification, you don't need to add object class because it's already there. Do we understand? But anytime you're adding something, you have to include object class. Oh. I tried one yesterday. I was surprised it worked. But it's supposed to be case sensitive. No, and the thing is, although this idea is like the way people write program, like, okay, once you pronounce the first something, the next one should be capital. But I tried one yesterday. I was trying to modify something. I used change type, change then capital T. It worked. Then lowercase, uppercase, it worked. But all the resources that I've seen online, all of them, this is the way. This is usually the format, the standard format. Because somebody will be like, do you mean I will keep doing this every time I want to make an entry? No. If you have LDAP browser, you don't have to be doing this. Then if we can write script, you don't have to be doing this. But it's easier for you to understand it this way. Because by the time you are using somebody else's browser, they will add their own to it. They will force you to go in one direction, the direction you are not willing to go. You'll be forced to go in that direction. Object class, that would be What's the next thing? If you look at this object class, what must be there? What attribute is a must? No? OU. Anything, if you always look at the DN, whatever you write at the DN, the relative DN must be here. You understand? So this one is a must for this organization unit. You can write any other thing, but if it doesn't see this and OU, it will raise an error. So OU equals people. Yeah, it's done. Oh, sorry. I didn't know. So we are done creating a group. It's very straightforward. You know, as a group, do they need password? They don't need for now. They don't need. Do they need address? If you want to include address for this group, you have to include object. Probably this object class also take description. You can include so many things that you want, but it's not necessary. This is all that is required. Only all you people for me to create group. So I'll just save and then we write. Should we also, okay, I will come back then. If I say we should do this one, let's just do it at a go. Just 2 groups. You understand? Because if I have to create another one again, I can't use this file again. If I need to use this file, I have to have something like modify, because this one already exists. So let's create 2. Then the next one, you know, there must be space. That's another entry now. So let's just create. Okay, make it 2 groups, right? That will be OU. No. And DN OU equals staff. Then DC equals HPC, comma, DC equals com. Then, although there's a way to copy using the Vim, but I've forgotten. Forgive me. Why? Thank you. Okay, and then OU equals and stuff. Now the next one. We need to create a user. And then where should it belong? People. It can be here, it can be here. But we want them to be here first. People. Please note that you can do this separately, but it's easier for the way we are doing it now, because you see the same thing. Once we use this file, we can't use it again. You have to go back and edit. You have to change some of the things to modify. So when I thought, okay, probably instead of doing that repetitive task, why don't we just list everything here and just upload at once? I hope you understand.
You're saying it can be created on different files, but in manage you now have to give those files different names so that you know where you put each of those attributes. Is that what you're saying?
For this one, it can be, I'll call it OU dot LDF people LUF. This one OU staff LDF. But if I want to change something, assuming I want to change the name of that group, I'll just go to that file and I'll now put change type, modify, whatever I want to change there, I can change it. You understand? I can use that file. But like now, if I have about, I'm trying to do about 5 here now. If I use this type of method, it's faster for me for what I'm doing presently. But when it comes to modification, I still have to go and create that file separately. Maybe when we get there, you understand. I just think it's easier now. Let me just include everything. But look at the order at which I'm creating. I will not put user on top of these people because user is connected to people. You understand? So the script is going to run like this from the top to the bottom. So dn equals dn uid equals comma dc equals ou ou equals people, and then dc equals hpc, and then the next one dc equals com. So we are trying to add a user now. Which object class do you think? Yes. Because it's no longer, this is not going to be a group. You understand? So object class net bag. I hope it's correct. So the next one, what do you think? UID. This is what we need. Because UID is part of this, you understand? You can't go and specify OU again because it's not part of this object. You understand? UID is 3, 4, 5, 6. Then what other attributes under inet.org? Please, can we Google it? Like SN, CN, SN. Know that SN stands for surname. CN. There any other thing that we can include? Huh? Description. Can we look up attributes of this? I don't think given name is part of it. Given name is part of it. Okay. And we can leave for this for now. Let me see whether does it come with user password? Inet. Okay. There's user password and mail. And it's a direct. That's why they call it directory service. Mm. And well, in the context of what's it called, workstation in a cluster system, it defines what you have access to. Yes, too. Like now, if I'm okay, you have a node there now. People are connected from different. I can say, okay, now when you log into the system, your default bash environment is there are so many. I can give you different one. Every time you log in, like every time I log in, why do I always get this? Because it's already set in the LDAP. You understand? Your home directory is already set. And if you are using home directory, I think it's a POSIX account. We have to use object class POSIX account to define that the group you belong to. You know, it's already defined in the system that, okay, this particular group they can delete, this one can add, this one can do anything on this Linux machine. Things like that is already defined in the LDAP. So as soon as you log in, all those things being taken care of, you'll be like, how come I can't move a file from zero? What happened? Talk to the administrator. You understand? And then the kind of script that you can run is already defined in the LDAP. You understand? The shell environment, default shell environment. There are some shell environment like if you press, and there's this one, it is Linux version they use at MTN, and it starts with S. And there's one like their shell environment is completely different. I pressed tab twice, didn't even answer me. It was when I got to know that, okay, there's a shell environment that if you press tab, it will even respond. It just be watching you. You have to know. It starts with S. Sun something, under sun system. But that one is different. Let's just go ahead. I will find out later. So we have CN. So you said what else can we put? Can we add a user password? But okay, let's leave it. I will allow us to modify it by adding user password. You understand? Assuming that we are not adding user password, so I will allow us to go and modify it and add that attribute to it. So this is, I think we have enough for now. We have 3. So I will save it. And to save here, just, no, to write, I will first write W, and then, and to exit, Q. This one is read. I thought they've taught you about permission, file permission. You don't need that one for this one. Because the program that's reading from it is not the file that it has already executed itself. This one. It's not the one that is going to execute itself. So it just only read permission. That's all that it needs. So now, here's the part to add. LDAP. You know, during the installation, we did this thing. We did LDAP utilities. We did install SLAP with LDAP utilities. LDAP utility is not compulsory, but most people prefer it because if you use it to make any change, the change is effected immediately without you restarting, without the need to restart the server. But if you use SLAP can equally do the same thing, but you have to restart the machine. You will understand? But if you use LDAP, the change is effected immediately, and you don't need to restart the machine or reboot. No, sorry, the application. You don't need to restart the application. Yeah. So we are going to add this file now. We want to run this file. LDAP. I'm going to press tab again. Let's see what I can add. Okay. LDAP add is there. LDAP add. Then I will specify some parameters before I can add. And host. Which machine am I trying to talk to? You can be here and make modification on remote machine. Do we understand? So far, you have the right login credential. Host, LDAP, off. I'm trying to remember I can use localhost. Localhost. And then DC equals to HP HPC, comma, DC equals to com. Yeah. Please look at this. This is how you add. With this command, I can add. This switch is which machine are you trying to talk to? So we are talking to the local host. Of course, there's alternative. If you are using the same machine, there's this socket kind of connection. LDAP high. You put I in front. That means you are using socket. You don't have to type too many things, but let's just do it the right way. And then who is updating the data? I'm using this distinguished name. CN is equals to admin. That's how you refer to everybody. If you are given the right, if you have the permission to write or to do anything, it has to be specified. Who? This one means DN, but this for the short for DN. Who exactly wants to do this? You understand? So this is how you refer to whoever. This is how you refer to anybody. And then this one means password. That means I will supply a password. It's going to request for the password. That's the admin password. And then the F stands for file. You understand? If the file is not in the same part, you have to specify the right part where the file is. But we are inside the same place, so I don't have to go and do slash. I don't have to do all that. This is the same file. If there's an error, you will get it. But if it executes successfully, you will get let's see. Oh. So I'm trying to add, and it's asking me for the password. Password of who? Admin. Because I specify admin here, and he has the right. You can give right to anybody to update. That's HPC 1, 2, 3. So it's successful. See the response. Adding new entry. All you people first. Then adding new entry staff. Then look at the order. This one can be before this one. You understand? This one can be before this one has to be before this one. So it's done now. So we can write, do our slab cut again and see what we have. Okay. See, look at the entry. Object class is this, UID this.
Since we are getting tired, can we go for lunch? Is one. Should we go for lunch and come back by 2? But we have quite a number of things. So let's follow the timetable since we have the timetable guiding us. It's just that we started around 9:09. So I was thinking probably we'll get to 1:30. But let's go for lunch and come back by 2. So please let's. We are going for lunch to resume back by 2 p.m. Thank you.